Hello, welcome to Tahele Founders Podcast. Tehele Ventures is a Silicon Valley based venture capital platform that helps startups in the US and across the world find investors and raise capital. Hello, guys. Today we're going to talk to the CEO of Tehele Ventures, Cindy Faso. She's one of the founders of the company, Tehele Ventures. Cindy will talk to us about this company, how it helps startups, and we'll get to know a little more about her and her plans for Tahel Ventures. Welcome to the podcast, Cindy, and very glad to have you on the show today.
Danny, how are you?
Good. Well, Cindy, again, it's my honor to have you on the show. Could you tell us a little more about the company, Taheli Ventures, about the platform, and how did you start it?
So Tehele Ventures is it's an idea that I had because I had previously had many other companies, and a really known one was information systems builder. And whenever I would have my companies and or I would have an idea, it was really hard for me to not only find investors, but it was really hard for me to know, how do I do my pitch deck? How do I come up with all of these legal documents, and how do I even find an investor? So it was really, really hard for me. So I came up with Tehele Ventures because I said, okay, I need to build something that startups are going to meet investors, and they're also going to have features in the platform that are going to get them ready to meet investors, right? So that was a little bit the initial plan for Tehele Ventures.
Great. And as a startup founder myself, I totally resonate with the problem you're solving. Securing funds, securing investments is extremely complicated, and your platform aims to streamline that process and solve this huge problem for startups. So, could you tell me a little bit more about how exactly Tele Ventures, the platform, helps startups with that, and what other features it has?
Yes. So Tehele Ventures has a startup toolkit. We call it a startup toolkit, where we have ready to use templates and to help you be able to, like, for example, a pitch deck, which we already have pitch decks already made, which we know what investors want. We know what your pitch deck needs to have, and each stage is different types of pitch decks that you need. For example, if you're an idea stage, if you're Series A, if you're seed, if you're pre-seed, all of these pitch decks needs to be very different because it's different stages of your investment. We all of our templates are already made, and there's Tehele guidance that can help you fill out these templates so that you could be investor ready. So that's one of the features that I really love in the platform, because as a founder, you always hear you need a business plan, you need a pitch deck, you need all of these things, but you don't know what to put in it. Or you can Google it, or now there's like you can ask ChatGPT, but it's really hard because it's not a professional doing it. So all of our templates are made by professionals, already made. Daily guidance, it's here to just help you fill them out with your company information, right? We have Startup Toolkit. We have Tehele AI, which Tehele AI helps you with your right? Where you probably don't know your financial health, and what in your company do you need to focus on, and what do you need to improve, and Taheli AI helps you with that. We also have Taheli Calculator, which Taheli Calculator is to help you with your valuation. Anything calculation. So your valuation, your equity, how much money should you ask investors? How much equity should you give investors? What is the valuation of your company? So all of these things are here to help you when you're going to pitch with investors. And it's very important, right? All of these things that I'm saying, it's very important because when you're talking to an investor, you want to be able to know what equity you're trying to give in your company. You need to be able to know what is the right evaluation of your company at this stage. So we have Taheli Calculator, we have Startup Toolkit, and we have Taheli AI. All of these features are created to help startups be ready to meet investors. And then we have what everybody wants, right? the feature where you're on the platform and investors reach out to you. So it's very important to note that we have an emailing system on the platform where investors are not going to email you, for example, with your company email or your personal email. It's all on the platform. Investors reach out to you and they say, "Hey, I really love your company and I would want to know more about your company." And you set up a meeting. The investor set up the meeting with you and they talk to you, and then they talk to you about, "Oh, I'm interested in your company. Talk to me more about your company." And you get to pitch your company to an investor. The reason why we're doing this like this, it's because I know, and I was one of those founders too, where you always reach out to investors, whether it's you email them, whether it's LinkedIn, and they never get back to you. I don't know if that's happened to you, Danny. They never get back to you. So what I did was I made it so investors reach out to you, the startup, so that you know that at least they're interested, right? At least you have their attention. So we've done it like that. And then it's important to note that other startups, other companies on the platform cannot see your company. Only investors can see your company. And we've done it like that just so it's for your privacy, right? Not everybody wants other, competitors or other companies seeing their company or sensitive company information. So Tahele Ventures, when you sign up as a founder, all of your information is given to investors. Other startups cannot see it. And you also cannot see investors, right? You wait until an investor reaches out to you if they're interested in your company.
Yeah, this is a great idea, and you change the game, right? As you said, usually you have to reach out to dozens, if not hundreds, of investors before you can secure this deal. On the contrary, your platform, Tehele Ventures, allows, first of all, it helps you prepare for the round with the pitch decks, with different kinds of calculators and legal documents, templates, etc. And then they come to you. So tell me a little more about how it looks like from the investor's perspective, what they
Right.
should expect from the platform, and how it helps them to find the right match.
Yes. That's a great question. I forgot to mention that founders also have a feature that does the market research for you, right? And doing market research could be very hectic, especially if you're idea stage, right? Remember, the platform has different stages, right? We accept all stages. Right? Either you're very early, either you only have a business, let's say you only have a business plan or you only have an idea. We accept all stages and we help you through your stage in different stages. We have features for different stages. So for the market research, for example, is for idea stage. You have an idea, you somewhat have a business plan, but you still need to do your market research, and the platform has a feature to help you with that. To switch to investors, so the way it works is that investors see a startup in terms of they see how much you're asking for, how much you've raised so far. They see also your pitch deck. They see also your metrics, your financials. They see on the startup side, we ask you to describe the product. We and describe what you're going to do with the money that you're trying to raise. So investors see all of that. And what they do see is they do see an overview of your startup. And when they see this overview, they're like, okay, so I'm pretty interested in this startup and it seems very, very interesting. So we have a feature that they can schedule a meeting with you. And all of this happens on the platform. So all the hectic things of them looking for your email and going to email you, and you looking through your email and you see, for example, David messaged you and you're like, who is David, right? So everything happens on the platform, so they can schedule a meeting with you. The founder gets a notification that an investor is interested and they would like to schedule a meeting Monday at 3 p.m. And there's also they can email you. right? Let's say they don't want to schedule a meeting now. They just want to know, they just have one or two questions for you so they can email you directly. And in the startup side, in the investor side, sorry, investors also have Tehele AI, and Tehele AI helps them identify if the startup that they're maybe interested in, if it matches with their preference, their portfolio of what they would like to invest in. So investors tells us, like, for example, my name is Cindy and I am interested in AI companies and I'm interested in fintech companies, and this is how much I'm trying to invest in. And so we already know the profile of the investors. So when they use Tehele AI, it tells them if your company matches with their preferences. And it also Taylor AI helps them analyze your financial and your pitch decks. And that's why we always encourage founders to use our features, right? Use our features before you talk to an investor. Because an investor can see your profile and they might like your profile, but when they talk to you, they say, okay, so how much equity you're trying to give, or your valuation, and maybe you don't know, right? But this is like for early stages, like idea stage and seed, right? In Series A, you should know what your valuation and your what pitch deck or what equity you're trying to give. That's why we have many more other features for those stages. So that's why we encourage founders to use our features, right? Because your profile could be nice, you could be great, but an investor schedule a meeting with you, they're going to talk to you, right? They're going to ask you for your cap table. If you don't have a cap table, then you didn't use our features, because in our features, we have a cap table and we have Tahele guidance to help you with your cap table. So, and even one of the features on the founder side, we have Ask Tahele. So let's say you are so confused about, I'm about to meet David at 3 p.m. and I have no idea about, like, what should I prepare? Like, how should I prepare? What should I prepare? What are the questions that he might ask me? So Ask Tahele is here to answer all of those questions for you.
And for the startups or for the founders who use your platform, do you have a message or some advice that you want to share with them?
I think a message and advice that I would give any founder is, as a founder myself, I created Tehele Ventures because I know what it is to be a founder. I want to start there. And being a founder is not easy, especially when you're first starting, right? I feel like there's not a lot of platforms that focus on early stage companies. There's a lot of platforms for, big companies, or if you have a company that has already been funded, or it's more than money. Tehele Ventures is created by, it's more than money. It's to prepare you for that money. So we already have investors, right, that are willing to invest in you, but you also have to be ready to receive the funding for your company. So a lot, like, my message would be, use the features, right? And we understand your struggle, right? And that's why we've created Tehele Ventures. And, at any stage of your company, especially when you're in early stage, something as small as a pitch deck could change the way an investor sees your company or your idea. Something as simple as your financials, making sure that your financials just make sense, could actually change. An investor can schedule a meeting with you and they really like your idea, but when they have a conversation with you, they can tell that you're not prepared. They can tell that your numbers don't make sense. They can tell that you just haven't done your homework. So because I know that, because I've had that struggle myself building companies or just having an idea and I have no idea, like, I've been there. You have no idea, like, okay, like, I have this great idea. I know how to execute this, but I have to put this on paper and I actually have to do these not so fancy numbers. And, let's say you are someone that just likes to build. I'm like, I just built this thing, this product. But when it comes to the other stuff, I have no idea. Or let's say you do have a COO or someone that, or a co-founder that knows these stuff, but let's say that you're lost. Like, what do investors want? What are investors looking for? We have all of those features in Tahele to help you with that, and more features. More features are coming. So that would be my message. My message would be, at Tehele Ventures, we know your struggle. We know that there are a lot of companies that are struggling to just start, right? Let's forget about the big companies. Let's start with early stage companies, and it's all companies. It's not just tech companies. It's all companies. If you are have any business idea that you have, and you know that it has a potential, and you know that you need an investor to help you bring it to the next level, and you know that you believe in your idea, just join Tehele. And Tehele is for if you're in India, if you're in Africa, if you're in America, if it's everywhere. It's in Europe. So that would be my message.